skaters of the world? Swamp Trog here. We're back at it. It's the art of Ram, teaching the world how to skateboard. Grab your gear, grab your pads, grab your notebook, whatever it takes. Let's get ready to ram it down. I'm gonna teach you everything I know about skateboarding. All right, so today we're going over all my pro tips on the backside Smith stall, the Monty stall, the Monty grind, which it'll eventually turn into. All right, so just to define it, our back truck is gonna be locked up on the coping and our front truck is gonna be down under the coping, all right? So unlike the feeble on top, the opposite, we're going front truck below the coping. And I'm sure all of you already know about all of that. Just like in typical art of Ram fashion, let's just start with the bottom of our board, work our way up on how to complete this trick successfully and the easy way. I'm talking 3 to 5 tries, not 3 to 500. So foot placement in this is crucial, you guys. We are gonna be narrowing our stance and walking our foot back behind the 4 bolts. Same with our back foot. We're gonna be turning backside, so we're gonna wanna have the tip of our toe right over that back tail. And I do wanna have a little bit of tail exposed. I want my heel right up in there at the edge of the pocket, all right? That's kind of my sweet spot for the backside Smith stall, all right? And this will also convert over to the backside Smith grind or the Monty grind, okay? So foot placement, check. One thing about my feet, I am really putting down a lot of pressure on my back toe right there, all right? So as I'm approaching up the ramp, which we're gonna be talking about next, I'm starting to apply pressure to that back toe. That's gonna be my pivot point where I'm gonna stick and turn and push my toe side wheel up into that coping. So a lot different than our backside pivots, axle stalls and feebles that we've been working on. Linking those right here. We're gonna be talking about sliding that toe side wheel against the coping for a smooth backside Smith stall. All right, great. So we talked about the foot placement, my friends. Now I'm gonna run a clip talking about the lean forward through your approach to this. You just finished up whatever setup trick you're going for. You're coming in full throttle for your backside Smith. Remember, if you wanna survive doing new tricks on transition, you're gonna remember to breathe as you're going up the ramp. You're also gonna remember to get low and over-exaggerate all your body motions. So, as I'm approaching forward, up for a backside Smith stall, my feet are locked into place. I've actually dropped in. I've danced my feet into place, made one little adjustment. I'm approaching, and as I'm going up, you gotta make sure that your body weight is over this front leg. As you start that pump, start unloading that back weight to pivot on your back foot. Let's get into a couple videos and tips on how to get up into the turn and into the stall and ride away safely. What we're gonna do now is get up on the deck. I'm gonna show you an easy way to learn to ride away from the back Smith and then work your way back to the beginning, to the entry and the ride away. Let's go up top, check it out. Okay, so here we are up on top of the deck, you guys. Talking about the back Smith, let's really understand and break down where our board and body need to be while we're up in the pivot of the Smith, all right? So one thing you're gonna see right here is that we're locked up backside on our toe side rail, all right? Or as I like to say, the backside rail right here. Normally in axle stalls and pivots, we're locked in our front side heel edge rail right there in our groove that we have worked so darn hard for. But today we're talking about the Smith. So as we approach and we come up and we do our turn, we're gonna lock in there, but our toe position is gonna push that board back and lock in right here on our backside rail. As we drop it down, we're gonna land in that position. Our rail of our board, our front side rail right there, is gonna be touching right there on the coping. And we are gonna be all on our heels, you guys. So the board is gonna be up, pressing front side to stall, backside to ride away, all right? And we're gonna talk a little bit about that more, but let's get into starting how you land the ride away of the backside Smith stall, all right? First things first, I walk up with a wide stance and I'm gonna lock in to a feeble, all right? But I'm gonna lock into a feeble with my toe side rail locked in, my wheel, just like we've been talking about. From there, I'm gonna dance my feet back. And the one thing I wanna know about the backside Smith is that I gotta keep my shoulders and my hands perpendicular minimum so we don't get into an over rotation scenario where we fall back and we hit the back of our head. What I like to do is try to turn my upper body 45 degrees over the deck as if I was in a feeble position and get low on my back leg. Drop that leg down, bone the leg forward, lift my toes, flatten out the board. I know that sounds like a lot, but you want to start there, doing all those basic groundwork moves to figure out when you get up into that Smith for that first time, you can ride away. Back to what we were getting at, we're up in this position with our upper body, our feet are in our place. I'm gonna twist and light my abs up here. I'm gonna twist my body, get my heels down into the Smith, and then when I wanna go, I'm gonna practice out my bailout a few times, and then I'm gonna go for it. Of course, start with the small ramp, work your way up to one that's as tall as you, like I'm doing right here, in the 5.5 foot, shallow end of the bowl at third layer skate park. Here's that first one right here. Dropping in. Just setting it up. Out a bailout pattern. What you're going to do before you do that one, you're back here, lock in, feeble, dance, twist, get low, breathe out, lock in the arm, get down, back foot steps off into that knee slide every time. How do you get on the board? Front foot on, back foot on. How do you get off? Back foot off, front foot off. Remember that. Now we're working our way up to the bowl. Front wheels? Nah, back wheels only. Pressing down on the toe, literally, toe down, jump back. Oh, got into that feeble, adjust, twist, get low, breathe, eyes. I'm talking about spotting my landing down here. Here we go. The less sudden movements you can have in your upper body, the more you're gonna win in the game of skateboarding. Okay, so you practice the ride away, not once, not twice. I'm talking 25, 30 times. You've landed it that many times in a row. You have mastered it on the ramp. You're gonna attempt your very first Smith on, all right? This part right here on a small enough ramp won't take you much time. The thing about the Smith that we have to remind ourselves, backseat, 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 backseat. That means when we're up in the Smith stall, where our upper body is over our back leg, all right? So most of the time we've talked about on the backside, we're grinding forward, we're lifting up, our upper body is over our front knee. Not the case with the back Smith. Back foot. Upper body is gonna be like this. Use your body against the wall to kind of bone that front leg out. Not completely locked, but just about. And twist that hip. Upper body will be like this. Ramp's going down that way. Turn, ride away, all right? You know me talking about it on the exhale all the time, you guys. You gotta breathe out if you wanna ride away from this cleanly. Here we go. Let's get into a few tries, ripping through this. You're asking yourself, you're about to comment, your fingers are typing already. Trog, how do I push that back from the pivot or the back wheel or the front side locking groove right there? How do I push it into that back Smith position right there? Well, I'm telling you what, guys, it's literally leaning into the ramp. If you're gonna do any of these intermediate ramp tricks, you gotta make sure that your body is leaning into the ramp, all right? And that's the trick, to go up the ramp, lock in backside, drop the rail, and slide it back and lock that wheel in, okay? I'm gonna run through a couple slow-mos, and we'll explain a lot more with the visual, all right? So the last thing I really wanna make sure that we're on the same page about when we're doing this Smith, again, we're not locking in that Smith grind right there on our front side heel edge, right? We're locking in on that toe side. So while we're in that position, A couple things you're going to want to practice and keep in mind. When your tips of your toes are right over that edge, when you're up in this stall, you're lifting up. Okay, your toes are lifting up. And that is leveling out that board. And you are forcing the deck to hit the wheel. And you're automatically locking into a wheel bite, all right? I can't even press it down. But with the body weight and the motion, it will push so far down that the wheel will lock up, and that will lock your toe side wheel in, all right? So that is one of the hardest parts about this trick. The second thing you have to remember is not let your shoulders over rotate to a back flop, you guys. It's so dangerous. It will only happen once in your life. You don't want that to happen. I haven't had mine yet. It may be coming. I'm gonna over exaggerate my arms being open and twisted as seen here. I'm gonna make sure that I ride away with my upper body open going down that ramp. So when you're up here in that stall, you're up on your heels, you're lifting your toes, and to go in, both toes at the exact same time, press down, and you will roll right over that wheel right there, very graciously. Very little hang up factor here. Unless you're over rotating, you'll spin up into a backside disaster. From there, check out the backside disaster video, how to bail out from that. That should help you on your way. I appreciate you guys tuning in to the Art of Ram. Swamp Trog here, teaching the world how to skateboard, the Monty stall, the backsmith. Thanks for watching. What other videos and tricks would you like to see? Comment below, drop me a line. Tell your friends about skateboarding. Why wouldn't you? Hope you guys are getting thirsty for some more Art of Ram, because here it is. Drink up. Gotta give it up for my filmer, Serenity.